The lights of Kentucky Performing Arts shine on more than our shows. They illuminate a pathway of discovery for all throughout our Commonwealth. A pathway of creativity, confidence, possibility, of brilliance, inspiration, curiosity, and wonder. For 40 years, Kentucky Performing Arts has led a pathway to unite the Commonwealth around the joy of discovering the arts, and will continue to shine this light far into the future.
Hey, Joel.
Hey, everybody.
Round 150251612.
Hello?
When you click on the link, do you have to use a password to get in, or does it just automatically bring you into the webinar?
When I clicked on today, it just brought me straight in.
Had to use the password usually, so I just went ahead and used it today.
Okay. It's crazy. It's the same link. And everybody gets the same. Remember, Marshall is having trouble getting in.
Mr. Harness, that was the bishop. They're trying to get in. They see you all. And I told them if they could see you, they're in.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I just want you to know.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye.
All right, Tanisha Marshall has made it in.
Apologies, I've been on here 20 minutes I'm here.
Okay, thank you.
We're glad. Sometimes technology has a mind of its own.
Yes, and I teach a technology class, so this is a new, different system with my stuff, so I'm just glad I'm here.
Understood. Ed, do you know how many we're waiting on? How many you're guessing are going to be here?
I had correspondence with member Sears, and I got an accept from member Green. I'm reaching out to them now.
Okay. Well, we'll stand by here for another couple
Yeah,
minutes.
we need one more for a quorum.
Yeah. See if we can round them up.
Guillermo should be signing in soon.
Great, thanks.
And Jennifer as well. right. I think we have a quorum with Member Green.
I see Jennifer there.
Hi, I'm so sorry I'm late. My apologies.
We're glad to have you here. It's all good. All right. Well, I think we do have a quorum, and that being the case, we should. My memory is that we need to all flash on at least, right, so we can see our smiling faces at least for a second or two, and we can establish a quorum. And move ahead from there. Thank you all for being here. I know that even though it's easier to do it probably this month on a Tuesday as opposed to Wednesday, whenever you move the regular day, makes it more complicated. At least it does for me. I have to remember things and such like that. That's a complex sort of thing. You've seen the agenda. Anybody have any deletions, additions, changes to the agenda? All right. If not, I'll motion to approve the agenda. I want to say that.
So moved.
Thank you. Any opposed to that? All right. The minutes are there. Have you had an opportunity to review the minutes? And if so, any changes, deletions, etc.? Not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as well. Thank you, Member Dickens. This is good. So moving down the agenda, we had one request for public comment from Dr. Ed Warner, who has subsequently, I believe, decided that he did not want to speak. Dr. Warner, if you're on and I don't see you, please sing out.
He is not on.
Okay, very good. Thank you. He sent me this morning, I think just to me, he sent a handout that I believe you've received in your email. And he then asked me, just for your information, he asked me whether I thought he should come and talk about it at this meeting or not, asking for my professional judgment. I told him, well, he needed to decide. There are always risks when you put anything off because things can happen. But that from an educational point of view, if that was his plan, which I think it is his intention, that it would be probably better if everyone had the opportunity to read his handout and then for him to appear next month or the next month to address and summarize what he had to say, and that I would let him think about that. And he subsequently sent me a note back and said that he appreciated that and he would in fact speak at a subsequent meeting. So there we are. And you can take a look at the handout itself. I have not studied it in any kind of detail and am not prepared to comment on it for that reason. But at a subsequent meeting, I would think we would entertain that, take a look at that, see what comments and thoughts and such that we should have, what kind of follow-up we might want to have there. I don't have anything else about that unless somebody else does. And then we have, if we're through, we're ready to move ahead. And our next up is that we have a potential new member who halfway for us all apparently teaches courses in technology, which is good. This is all good. We all need that. We all need that indeed. So, and I'm not sure what we need to do other than to vote, I suppose, in some way, or maybe just welcome.
Just welcome. Just Ms. Marshall has gone through the appointment process and been duly appointed by the Metro Council. So maybe just a moment for her to introduce herself to the other board members.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Well, thank you for wanting to join our group and for going through the process and all. That's terrific. And we'd love to hear anything you'd like to say about your reasons for doing that and your background and whatever you'd like to share with us, we'd like to hear.
Great. Thank you so much for having me. I did go before the board to get, I don't know if the term sworn in or what have you, but to get acknowledged being a part of the appointment. And a little bit of my background, I am an educator, full-time educator for JCPS. I'm a school counselor and I'm an adjunct professor at Spalding University. Been an educator for over 26 years, and I'm truly honored to be a part of this board. I've shown great interest in the community over the years, and I am a very, well known in my community just through service through my sorority, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, as well as I'm a small business owner, and I've also served as a coach in the community. So again, I'm so happy about being a part of this board and ready to serve.
Well, that's tremendous. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you in person.
Yes.
Another meeting that we'll have in the next couple of months when it's easier for us all to get together, given holidays and other things. So thanks for being with us. Thanks for being with us today. Let's see here. I think with that, what we have are, I think, 8 potential investigation that we should consider. So I'll ask Ernest if you kind of start us and lead us through those.
Yes, Chair Barry. First one, 59 IG dash, it should actually be dash 2023. That's a clerical error, so I will make that correction. The date of the incident was August 19th of 2022. We received the complaint anonymously in October of 2023. And it alleged that a member of LMPD in his patrol car hit a civilian on a bicycle, and the incident was not investigated or handled appropriately. We did, as you can see from our report, interview a witness who was a former LMPD officer, but he was reluctant to cooperate any further. And so based upon a lack of information moving forward, we're recommending no further investigation.
All right. Any questions or comments on that? If not, then I will ask for a recommendation that we usually put in the style of we recommend to approve the Inspector General's recommendation. Anybody want to make that motion for us?
I will make the motion.
Okay, thank you. Anybody opposed to that? Any further questions? Okay. Recommendations followed. Let's move ahead.
All right, next is 100 IG-2024. The date of the incident is June 21st of 2024, and we received the complaint July 2nd of 2024. Complaint alleges that members of LMPD arrested her husband using a falsified search warrant. Complainant further alleges that members of LMPD are retaliating against her and her family because she settled a lawsuit with LMPD. In this case, the investigator reviewed LMPD reports, and we interviewed the complainant. We are recommending no further investigation. OIG staff recommends no further investigation. The complainant's allegations of a falsified search warrant should be addressed by the court. The OIG staff was able to review and verify the search warrant, and the staff was unable to substantiate the complainant's allegations that members of LMPD were retaliating against her because she settled a lawsuit with LMPD. So we're recommending no further investigation in this case.
All right, questions, comments about that? Dickon, you looked as if you were about to speak, but that may just be a feint. Maybe you're getting ready to have some ice cream. I don't know.
You are very perceptive, Chair Barry. I was just curious as to whether the complainant specified the manner in which the complainant was claiming retaliation against her by LMPD. Were there any specific allegations made in that regard, or was it just a general allegation?
It was general allegations of retaliation, and we were unable to substantiate there was actually any civil lawsuit against LMPD to be settled.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. I think anyone want to move here that we accept or decline the recommendation?
I move that we accept.
All right. All in favor of that acceptance? Please raise your hand.
Aye.
Say aye. All right. Very good. What's up next?
All right, next is 105 IG-2024. This happened on the 3rd of July of 2024, and we received the complaint on the 9th of August in 2024. The allegations are the officer spoke poorly about the complainant during an interaction with the complainant's son. Actually, these are multiple incidents that took place. Same officer responded to a call for service at the complainant daughter's home. Caller stated that the daughter's boyfriend was in front of the daughter's home waving a gun around. Complainant stated officer told the residents who were home that someone swatted, that's the using the term swatted, meaning a false call so that the SWAT unit would come out to the residents, and that they should take an EPO out on that person. Complaint stated that son's calls to Metro Safe went unanswered. In this case, the investigator reviewed body worn camera, LMPD reports, and CAD reports, and we're recommending no further investigation. We spoke with the son, we spoke with the complainant, we spoke with other members of the family regarding this incident. We even took the extraordinary step of meeting with the complainant and his son to address his concerns. And we're recommending no further investigation. His allegations don't fit within any of the 6 criteria that are outlined in the ordinance.
Okay. Do we have questions about this complaint? If not, then I'll entertain a motion that we approve the recommendation. Very good, thank you. Any objection? All in favor? Okay,
Aye.
thank you. All right, next up.
Next up is 109 IG-2024. The date of the incident is September 12th of 2024. We received the complaint October 7th of 2024. The complainant witnessed members of LMPD conduct an investigatory stop of 2 African-American individuals outside of a Kohl's department store that he believed was discriminatory. Complainant further alleged that members of LMPD did not handle the stop appropriately. And in this case, the investigator reviewed body-worn camera, the CAD's report, and interviewed the complainant. We're recommending no further investigation. The preliminary investigation revealed that members of LMPD responded to a call for service from Kohl's department store for individuals shoplifting. When the members of LMPD arrived on the scene, they stopped these individuals as they were leaving Kohl's parking lot. Members of LMPD removed both individuals from the vehicle to question them. The complainant witnessed the stop and began recording the incident and tried to advocate for the individuals. He was asked several times to back up and was eventually detained and given a citation. The individuals who were stopped were questioned and agreed to sign a no trespassing order from Kohl's. Both individuals were released with no citation. So based upon our preliminary review, we're recommending no further investigation.
Are there questions about this complaint? My only question, which I suppose is not really germane, but is this notion of a no trespassing order is that sort of what's the nature of that? Let me just ask it in an open-ended way. What do we know about that, or do we not know much, but it's not really part of our investigation?
Generally, I can say, without looking at the specifics of this case, it's a tool used by police to have people will voluntarily sign these no trespass orders, and if they continue to go back to the business, then they can be subject to arrest for trespassing, short of having to be a suspect of shoplifting. So it's kind of used as a strategy and a deterrent for shoplifters.
Gotcha.
That's how I know them to be used.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. Okay. Other questions? All right. Entertain a motion for acceptance of this recommendation?
Accept.
Very good. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. All right, what's the next on our list here?
Next is 110 IG 2024. The date of the incident was September of 2022, and we received the complaint in October of 2024. And the complainant alleges police used excessive force by slamming her into a police car. For this preliminary investigation, the investigator reviewed the body-worn camera, LMPD reports, interviewed the complainant, also reviewed court information, court filings. We're recommending no further investigation. Officers were conducting an investigation and the complainant approached the officers from behind and began to question them. The officers were respectful throughout the encounter. The complainant was using verbally aggressive language and interjecting herself into an investigation. And when the officers attempted to detain her, the complainant actively resisted. Once detained, the officers used a minimal amount of force to escort her into the police cruiser. The force was minimal, but the complainant was placed on the trunk and into the back seat of a cruiser. The definition of the force used is provided in the explanation as well as minimal force and the resistance by the complainant. So we're recommending no further investigation because we could not find that there was a policy violation.
Okay, Sarah? All right, I will entertain a motion to approve the recommendation, no further action. Come on, folks, speak up.
Move.
All right, very good, thank you. We'll,
I didn't want to hog the floor continually.
it's okay, we're happy for you too. Oh, good.
Okay.
Everybody's shy today. Everybody's shy. All right. All in favor of continuing of approving this recommendation? Say aye. Aye, your head. Say yes.
Aye.
Good work. Good work. Okay. Next up on this list.
111 IG-2024. Complainant reports being stalked, harassed by LMPD officers, as well as having inappropriate sexual relations with officers. We're recommending no further investigation. The phone number supplied by the complainant does not belong to the complainant. We emailed the complainant 3 times to establish contact, and the complainant failed to respond to all emails. So at this point, we know that we have no information on which to act. So we're recommending no further investigation. Of course, if this person were to come forward and provide us a proper phone number and respond, we can certainly revisit the issue and bring it back to the board.
Okay. Questions, comments? All right. Anyone want to move that we accept this recommendation?
Move, sorry.
Good deal. Thank you. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Perfect.
Aye.
Okay. Next on our agenda.
Next is 112-IG-2024. The date of this incident happened on the 4th of July of 2024. And we received the complaint August 7th of 2024. The complainant is involved in an ongoing family dispute. All family members involved in the dispute live on the same street. Complainant alleged that a neighbor who is an LMPD officer tackled him to the ground while off duty during a physical altercation with a family member. Complainant further alleged that when he attempted to file a police report, a member of LMPD failed to include all information in the police report and refused to take his mother's report. In this case, the investigator reviewed the complainant's video and interviewed the complainant. We are recommending no further investigation. The preliminary investigation revealed that the complainant is involved in an ongoing family dispute with his sister-in-law who lives on the same street. On the 4th of July, the complainant was involved in a physical altercation with his nephew, complainant's neighbor, who is also an LMPD officer who witnessed the dispute and intervened. The off-duty officer did not hit the complainant. He took him to the ground, held him down until the incident could be diffused. The officer spoke with the complainant and his mother and his father after the incident and explained why he had to intervene. The complainant did file a police report the following day, and he alleged that the officer taking the report did not include important information in the report, and the officer refused to take his mother's report. On November 15th of 2024, OIG staff verified with the Professional Standards Unit that there is an open investigation into the complainant's allegations. OIG staff is recommending no full investigation. The complaint's allegations do not fall within our jurisdiction, and PSU is currently investigating the complainant's allegations.
Okay. And do we ever see the results of that investigation? Does that come up formally or informally?
It's not an automatic trigger. We can flag it to look at it, to review. We can do that. But currently it's not an automatic circle back to us.
Gotcha. I suppose since it came to us, I was thinking that, well, perhaps it would be interesting for us to take a look, to see what happened there eventually.
We can, I will have the investigator assigned to this case do the file request with Major Wampler, and once that case is completed, he'll send it over to us.
Okay. Comments, questions, other thoughts about this?
Is it not within our jurisdiction because the neighbor was off duty at the time of the incident, or for some other reason?
Well, I think that it's not because the officer's off duty. That's not the distinction. I think the distinction is that the review showed that it wouldn't be a force issue because that was reviewed and a part of our what was on the complainant's video. And it really is just about whether or not the complaint is really about whether or not the allegations were, the complainant's allegations were listened to in the reporting of the incident.
Thank you.
Okay. Other comments, thoughts, questions? All right. Well, I will entertain a motion to follow this recommendation.
Motion.
Thank you. All in favor? Wave, say aye. All right, perfect.
Aye.
Very good. And I've lost track. Was that our last one? Do we have one more?
We have one more. And,
One more.
And just for clarity's sake, The recommendation on this particular matter that will be reflected in the meeting notes is no full investigation, but a review of the completed PSU investigation.
Correct.
Okay. And 114IG-2024, the date of the incident was November 7th of 2024. The complaint was received on the 8th of November of 2024. Complainant reported Metro employee posted a video on social media with the employee using racial slurs. This matter was turned over. No further investigation is recommended because the employee worked for Metro Safe, not LMPD. The video of the incident was referred to Metro Government HR Compliance for their investigation.
Gotcha. So we will assume that somebody else is looking into the matter.
Yes, I reached out to Attorney Treesh at HR, confirmed that it was something for her compliance investigators to investigate, and so we pass along the information to them to handle as their internal employee matter.
Okay. I suppose technically we still need to approve the recommendation that we not go any farther on this. Anybody have any questions about that before we entertain that recommendation? Okay. Well, on that basis, all in favor of that? Everybody okay with that? All right. Anybody opposed?
Aye.
Okay, good. Well, that's a lot of work on that front. We have some investigation reviews here, right? And so why don't we go through those?
Yes, first up is 56 IG-2023, and this is a complaint that was authorized for full investigation by the board, and it's regarding it was an investigation for abuse of authority in the seizure of the complainant's property. And the findings and the conclusions are that the officer acted within policy for the seizure of the motorbike in this case and taking it to the tow lot. And so we found a not sustained for the conduct of becoming the officer, and we found an exonerated for the use of the record service in this particular case.
Questions or follow up on that?
Any questions? I just have a comment. It just also stated in the report that the moped was never recovered and that they sent him to risk management to try to, rectify the situation, which was concerning. But again, they did speak on the fact that they will look into making sure they use the proper towing companies, et cetera. So this won't happen again regarding this, the property of the civilian.
Okay, I don't think we need to take any action on that. If I'm wrong, somebody please tell me. So I think we're ready for the second report.
64 IG 2023 is an officer-involved shooting. The incident took place at 911 Chenault Road, February 19th of 2023. This is a very detailed report from the investigative review. The use of deadly force in this case was within policy. The recommendations from this case was that there could have been a PSU investigation regarding the officer's lack of equipment that the officer should have been wearing, namely his bulletproof vest. And once again, the recommendation that the Performance Review Board fails to create any action items from its recommendations. There isn't any follow-up from what the Performance Review Board creates. So there isn't anything accountable that comes out of the Performance Review Board except for the review itself. And that's a theme that we continue to point out in our recommendations, that the Performance Review Board should have action items associated with its recommendations.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
May I make an interjection real quick?
Please.
Just for the record, wanted to state that I worked patrol with both Officer Wyatt and Officer Elder the 2 years I worked out in the 3rd Division.
Okay. Guys, thank you for letting us know that.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions regarding 64 IG-2023?
Okay. I think we can move on to the third report.
And the last is an officer-involved shooting as well. This took place on June 19th of 2023. It details the fact that the officer was under surveillance when approached by somebody that created an imminent threat by trying to carjack the undercover officer. So the determination was that the use of force in this case was exonerated and within policy.
Comments, questions about that?
Very familiar to me, maybe because it was presented as a complaint that you recommended investigating and we approved it or voted in favor of that. Is that the only prior occasion when this matter was before us?
Yes. Actually, no, there was no complaint filed. This was I don't want to speak for you, but probably your recollection is that this one got pretty high media coverage when it occurred. This came to us simply as a matter of due course in LMPD's review of officer-involved shootings.
Thank you.
Okay. No other investigation findings that we have. I think those are the three that I see on the agenda.
That that is, yes, that completes the investigative findings for this month.
Okay. So we have here an item about, I guess I'd describe it as probably a continuing discussion of LMPD crime reduction strategies. That's the way we would describe that.
Yes, I included the written presentation of LMPD's crime reduction strategy that they introduced last week as a part of your attachments for you to review. And then if the board at some point wants to examine it and either comment or recommend some review or some action related to the crime reduction strategy, you have the information for you to be able to discuss that. So I included it in the original document production that took place last week.
Seems to me that we ought to all try to spend some time with that in the next month before our next meeting, so that we can set aside a little bit of time and see if people have thoughts, comments, reactions to that, based on our experience here and based on our experience of living as citizens in our community. Inappropriate, at least to me. When we try that, we'll see and recognize it's the holiday season. Nobody has a lot of extra time, but I don't think this is going to take us forever. And if it turns out that people haven't gotten to it, well, that's okay. We'll roll it to the next meeting. But let's try while it's reasonably fresh, at least in the LMPD and in the community. Things like that ought to work. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry, Ed.
No, I was just going to say I'll make sure that it's included as an agenda item next month.
Okay, I think that's good. Let's see. Do we have any other business that we should tackle here?
I have a question. I had read in the media that the city or LMPD or both have commissioned a study regarding the need or the adequacy of staffing, whether LMPD needs to hire more officers. And I recall that your staff prepared a very detailed, excellent report that had a lot of, it surveyed a lot of data regarding the number of calls within certain areas of the community and the number of officers who were on duty during those times and so on and so forth. And it seems like that's a piece of information that might be informative to whoever is going to be looking at this question. So I was just going to suggest that maybe it be passed along if it hasn't already, so that it might ultimately end up in the hands of those people, because a lot of I think that's just valuable, relevant research, it seems, to what I understand to be the scope of their analysis.
Yes, I'd like to add to that. I did actually have a chance to look at majority of the report, and in the beginning, when it did discuss the staffing within LMPD, and it looks like they're below maybe about 300 plus officers or around that. But one thing that did stick out to me, which I thought was impressive, is that they did make mention of the high crime areas and having the more of a police presence in those areas. And I think with that, just building community, building trust, and having those extra officers in those areas, you could only hope that it's gonna, make a difference in the community to have those officers present around those areas.
Good, thank you for that.
We can, I will, I'll send Chief Humphrey Dr. Whetstone's study again. We do have it available on our website for them to peruse as well. But certainly we'll pass that information along. Hope it helps them in whatever staffing study they're looking at or what they're doing. But we can certainly reintroduce Chief Humphrey to Dr. Whetstone's information. The final board position member is going before the Government and Accountability Government Audit and Accountability Subcommittee on the 3rd of December. She's been appointed by the mayor and is going to be in front of that committee on the 3rd of December at 5 o'clock. So I'll be at that meeting with her. Sorry, I'm just looking. Owens. Yes. Ms. Bowens from Legal Aid. I believe she's the head of finance for Legal Aid here. She's the recommended appointee for the position. And so by the end of, by the next meeting, possibly, the board should be full again.
Okay, good to know.
And then all I have is our regularly scheduled board meeting would be on Christmas. I don't think that that you all want to make yourselves available on Christmas for our meeting. So we need to find an alternative date for December's meeting.
I suspect that you have rightly reached a broad general conclusion. And I bet unlike this month where we were able to back it up one day, that Christmas Eve at 3 o'clock is not much better than Christmas Day.
Christmas Eve has been gifted as a holiday for Metro workers, non-essentials. So we have Christmas Eve and Christmas off.
All right, there we go. You want to try, I'm making this up. You want to try the Wednesday the 18th? How does everybody look Wednesday the 18th? I'm not wedding that. I just plucked it out of the air.
It's good for us.
I have a doctor's appointment during that time, but that's just me. I'm just one person. If it's at 3, then I will be unavailable, possibly.
Okay, understood. Well, as I say, I'm not wedded to any of that. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that week we could do Tuesday the 17th or Thursday the 19th.
Tuesday the 17th works for me.
Anybody?
Works for me also.
Pardon?
The 17th works for me also.
I'll be in faculty meeting that day, but we might not have one. I'm not for sure because it's the end, getting towards the end of, before we go on holiday break. But if I'm able to join later, if that's okay, if I'm willing to do that also. But as of today, I'm not sure if I'll have a meeting on the 17th at work.
Right, I'm with you. I was going to ask before we go too far, what I wonder what happens, going back to Wednesday, if we tried to push our meeting back a little bit instead of doing it at 3 and we did it at 3:30 or 4, does that help with the doctor's appointment situation?
Yes, it definitely helps me.
I could probably do it if it's at 4. I can join by phone, which I normally do because of my computer. So if I did it at 4, I could make that work.
Okay, I don't want to go too late for those folks who are trying to, who need to get out.
Monday the 23rd. Monday the 23rd works for me. I don't know about anybody else.
I don't know how people feel about Christmas week. I mean, it starts to. I mean, I'm around. It doesn't make a lot of difference in my world. But my instinct is to say, what if we did it? Hey, Ed, does it work? Is 4 o'clock too late for all of y'all who are on the staff work? Is 4 o'clock okay? Or does it need to be like 3:45 or something?
We work a flexible schedule.
Okay. Well, let's just try 4 o'clock on the 18th. Is that agreeable with everybody? Sing out if it's not. I don't want to railroad you here.
Works for me.
Anybody? I realize things can change. This is not your last final shot at this. Okay. Well, let's try the 18th. If we discover that there are a bunch of people who can't come, then we're not going to have a quorum. Then we'll think on that. But otherwise, let's shoot for the 18th, and we're going to shoot for 4 o'clock. I think that's good.
Okay, and I would assume Webex will work the best, given the need for flexibility.
Is that good? Does that work?
I'm open either day. I'm open.
Yeah, so let's shoot, and we'll try for an in-person meeting in January because it's nice to be in the same room. But I think that this is going to be a scattered one here in December. So I think that's good.
Okay.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. Anything else for the good of the cause here? Not. I'll move we adjourn, and we'll wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and for you and your families and friends, and we'll see you in a month, a little less.
Yes,
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank you all.
Bye.
If you do nothing else.
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 If you do nothing else.